ready for this?
Good morning and welcome to the Sports Daily. Broadcasting statewide from Kununurra in the north to Esperance in the south. We look forward to having your company for the next 3.5 hours. The Sports Daily is hosted from the studios of Tab Radio at 14 Hasler Road, Osborne Park. News, views, interviews. We will have it covered on the Sports Daily.
Take you around the way, so you're ready for this. Mind your own pace, cause I am back, yeah, the microphone's this. Need to say, cause it's too limited. Ready for this.
Good morning and welcome to the Sports Daily on this Wednesday morning, the 15th of October. If you're sitting back listening to the Sports Daily thinking, I heard that news somewhere before, it's probably because you have. Sometimes we hit the wrong buttons in here, and by we, I mean me. Digby, good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Taylor. Good morning to listeners. Great to be here on what is an excellent day of sport and racing to work through, I would have thought, today.
Yes, bit going on. Thank God we get the AFL trade period over and done with.
Yeah, it's ongoing, isn't it? It's
That'll
ongoing.
Be finished by hopefully 3 or 4 o'clock local time this afternoon.
It was a big day yesterday with the Australian rules football news, wasn't it? Nathan Buckley joining Geelong as an assistant coach. Taron Thomas now eligible to be drafted again, so he is free to play football at any level in 2026, and we know that the Charlie Curnow deal got a little bit closer to perhaps being struck. Hawthorn made their official offer for Essendon, so it's building. It's building. We are in the final day of this trade period, but hopefully we get to see some activity as well.
I'd enjoy going a week in my life without hearing about Zach Merritt. With all due respect to Zach, seems a nice guy.
Yes.
But I've heard enough about him.
Yeah, we've certainly heard a lot more about him in the past 8 or 9 days, haven't we, than we did for the bulk of the 2025 home and away season. But I think we just need to strap ourselves in and see what transpires today.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Socceroos play this morning as well. They play the USA. It's actually quite a significant friendly because they're currently projected to jump into the top 25 in the world, and therefore that's going to help them with their draw for the World Cup next year.
They've done a very, very good job under Tony Popovich, or let's say Tony Popovich has done a very, very good job since he assumed control. Yeah.
So it's an important game, so they don't really want to be blown out of the water. So if they can draw and continue that, continue that undefeated streak going that they've got, I think it's up to 12 games at the moment, or they're going for 12 games. It's going to help them with sort of what seeding they get for the World Cup. So very important against the USA. We've, of course, got the NBL. Hopefully some of our listeners jumped on that special there yesterday. The Perth Wildcats at even money to beat Brisbane. That tips off at 6:30. That's the second of 2 games. The Jack Jumpers take on the Kings. We've got Sheffield Shield getting underway today. Games, of course, WA are in Tasmania. They take on Tassie. Victoria take on New South Wales. Scotty Boland takes on Sam Constas.
Yes, exactly.
South Australia take on Queensland.
WA down there in Hobart, so mid-October, Sheffield Shield cricket in Tasmania. It's very early. It's not that it hasn't been played at this point of the season or the calendar previously, but it is a rarity. So the weather forecast is actually quite kind as well down there in Tassie, so that's encouraging, and hopefully WA can rebound after that poor performance here to open their first-class season against New South Wales.
What'd you make of the Everest?
The barrier draw last night, I thought the favourite drew perfectly. I think that's just about the perfectly.
Oh, what about the glitz and the glamour?
Oh, I didn't really see the glitz and the glamour. I've seen some social media since, but I was doing form for the local meeting. I just saw the barrier draws and how it came out.
But on the water with some drones and stuff.
Right. Well, that's a very Sydney thing, is it not? To maximise the panoramic views that the Sydney Harbour possesses. They've done that previously, haven't they? Been in and around the harbour?
Yeah. Every Everest has been in that same area.
Why not? Why not? It is a gorgeous city when you're on the water down there in Sydney.
So, Carrying Rising, in market order, $1.75. Carrying Rising drew 7. Jolie Star, $7. In barrier, 5. So, they're the only two in single figures. Jimmy Starr in 11 probably did matter too much for him. He's going to be out the back anyway. Tempted drew well. She was the shortener, $19 into 13. Barrier 1. Should be able to stalk that speed. Lady Shenandoah in 6. Drew 6 is $14, along with War Machine at $14, drew 4. Looking through all this, I think that, well, the two big losers, Magic Time in 12, I'm not sure anyone would have been kicking up for her winning chances, but drawing 12 almost knocks her out of the race, and Briasa drawing 10 hurts him as well. He's going to take a good ride to find a good spot in the race from barrier number 10, Briasa, who's now out to $15.
I'm not convinced 3 for Angel Capital is great. 14 back to 12. He's a horse who settles off speed. Just wonder whether Angel Capital is going to be cluttered up 3 and 4 back.
I'm not sure there's going to be a lot of cluttering with the tempo that they're going to run in this race.
Yeah, I would have thought maybe he could have drawn out a little bit, and that might have been to his liking, but I think Carrying Rising, Zach Purton's going to have options, isn't he? He can sum it up, you know, where Overpass is going to be in the run, you know, where Marzu is likely to go to be in the run, and Zach can use up Overpass if he elects to, or he can try to get onto his back and he'll take you a long way into the straight.
Yep, exactly right. I thought Tempted was the big winner. I said yesterday she was probably the one that might be able to go to another level with the lightweight back to 1,200 metres. Drawing 1 gives her every possible chance to sort of buck the trend of fillies in this race. 3-year-old fillies in the Everest thus far haven't had too much success, but hopefully that can change with Tempted. Of course, the Caulfield Cup draw, the barriers after the races today at Caulfield, typically.
After the barriers?
I think so.
After, okay. I thought they would... Okay.
Is it this morning?
I thought it was this morning. I'll stand corrected. I thought I saw
I haven't seen anything official, but I thought there was a couple of races today that might shape the field for the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, you might be right. I thought I read somewhere yesterday, it could be this morning, but I'll stand corrected. But looking forward to the Caulfield Cup because we get to see Half Yours go around, and he's very, very short now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's proper short.
Yeah, and the MRC obviously have a little bit more to worry about than trying to work out what time the barrier draw for the Caulfield Cup is.
Yeah, exactly right.
Chairman.
Now, the Caulfield Cup, as we sit here this morning, $2.60 Half Yours. So that's really short. Maidan at $8. Those two are the only ones under double figures. Vauban at $11.
All right, on the Sports Daily this morning, coming up just after 6 o'clock, Glenn Ingram, Chris Nelson, Brad Davidson to try and find us some winners on this Wednesday. Shane Williams will also catch up with Bjorn Baker. Overpass we know in the Everest. Pericles going around, Perfumus going around on Saturday as well. Got a nice team, Bjorn. We'll get an update on the champion Overpass, so I dare say we'll see in the Everest and then we'll see in Perth the next time he gets to the races. Terry Henderson will join us just before 7:30 as well. OTI Racing. You've got Deacon in a Caulfield Cup who sort of the market's dismissing a little bit. I thought last start in the Turnbull he was really good.
Really good. Ran 6th on that occasion. And we know that once he gets to 2,400 metres and beyond, he's really much in an area where he excels, clearly. So looking forward to that.
7:35, we'll catch up with Chris Gangemi, repossession trialled on Monday, and then we'll look forward to Saturday. Hopefully catch up with Jason Miller too. Jason, check your messages if you are listening to the Sports Daily at the moment. And then after 8 o'clock, the preview, yourself, Digby will be joined by Scotty and Darren. Mitch Pateman, the special guest. He's got a little bit more to talk about than just his team on Wednesday, but looking forward to catching up with Mitch as we look forward to Saturday. We'll go through those nominations, which were nice and strong for the feature races too at Ascot on Saturday at some stage. All that and much more coming up on the Sports Daily this morning.
Make Tab Radio your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Taylor Cortland and Digby Beecham with you on the Sports Daily this morning. Not too far away from catching up with Glenn Ingram, Chris Nelson and also Brad Davidson to try and find you a couple of winners on this Wednesday. Includes the races from Caulfield, of course, the feature being the Coonji, Group 3 level. Good friend Adam Blanco loves the Coonji.
Well, he's a Coonji man, isn't he? It's a good day's racing, this one at Caulfield. It always is the little one midweek, but it's still some excellent race. We get to see the fresh faces of the juveniles as well in the debutante stakes. So there's a great deal of interest there, often for the breeding people, and looking forward to that. But yeah, it's a good solid day's racing there at Caulfield. The weather looks lovely in Melbourne as well, which is good.
No, it always is.
Not
always
sure
is.
about that.
We had a bit of success yesterday with all the tips that we got. Unfortunately, Kelvin, Motorsports, he was keen on that horse. I think we can follow that horse going forward. Was a nice second, made good late grounds. Just missed. Drifted too in the market.
Yeah.
I think it was 3:30, started 5:50.
Exactly.
Brett Kavanagh.
He said
not
hook
so
in.
good. Yeah, hopefully you ignored him.
Danny Morton would be sitting back chuckling.
Lewis Clay race 5, number 1. Divity tipped us 275, the second favourite in that race, which Shayne tipped later on in the morning to us. That came out of the race, so did pay a little less. I think paid around the even money divot, but still got the job done. And Kim Pretta's Sumline ran third, so he was sort of more keen on an each-way price because of that barrier draw. Shayne, the 3 tips that we got, 2 of them won. The first one was scratched. I think if you had followed him on the blog and around the Tab Touch socials, he substituted one in there, but the 2 he tipped on the Sports Daily that started were winners, and Matt Young's best got up too, race 5, number 6.
Exactly right.
At Gloucester Park.
Exactly. So a good day there, and Scott's best today at Ascot, race 4, number 8, Elite Bow. All
right, we'll take a look at Caulfield. Glenn Ingram not too far away from joining us, and as Diggers has explained, this midweek meeting in Caulfield Cup Week is always a good one. There's 8 races on the program, highlighted by the feature, the Coonji. We'll get Glenn's thoughts on the meeting now. Glenn, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Great to be with you, gentlemen. We've got a fine day here in Melbourne. The rail's out 12 metres at Caulfield. We're going to be on a good 4 surface. And look, every horse should get their chance. It's going to be fantastic.
All right, Glenn, looking forward to it. The first gets underway at 10:40. Do you have some suggested bets before we get your quaddie numbers, please?
Yeah, my best bet on the card today is race 2, number 2, Sentu Cavani for the Buster and Young stable. Terrific last start. Just got back in the run and just with a little bit more intent today. You can settle close there with Blake Shin. I think it'll be winning. The value comes up in the first race 1, number 8, Mr. Monaco for the Kieran Maher stable. Look, first 2 runs were okay. Last start could be forgive. Just got back there in an on-pace dominated race and made steady ground. He's been back to the jump out since, and I thought he looked fantastic at Cranbourne recently. He'll give us a sight there at about that $9. And if you want to play a roughie on the card, race 8, number 1, Bel Toro is going to go around $41. She's been working super at the country jump outs to resume. He might be set for something later in the carnival, possibly at Flemington, but I think he can run a cheeky race today at big odds.
All right, so race 2, number 2, Sentu Cavani at $2.30. Race 1, number 8, Mr. Monaco at $9. And then in race 8, number 1, we can play at bigger odds at Bel Toro at 40-1 with Tab Touch currently. Glenn, can we just... we'll go through the quaddie. We'll get your thoughts on the Coonji there. So the first leg of the quaddie, what are you thinking race number 5?
Yeah, look, a lot of good chances offering value here. I particularly like one at odds in Marigold, who's a consistent mare. She's resuming off an impressive Pakenham jump out. She generally improves with a run under her belt, but in this race first up, she finds a great map. She's going to land forward of midfield, parked in behind the speed there. She's got the claim with Hannah Edgley, and I think she can finish strong. At the odds at about that $15, I think she's a worthy spec. I'd put the 4 in for second, Don't Hope Do. I think it can be forgiven at listed level last start. He was parked in the slower ground on the inside and just had to generate his own momentum. His form prior was good, and I liked his recent Flemington jump out. He's a hope. Grand Larceny, the 5, goes in for third. He has a good sprint. He'll get back on the inside, provided he gets a bit of luck late. He'll be quickening past them, and Sweethearted, I think, will be charging late from back in the field. I think it's a wide start for the quaddie. So in the first leg, I've gone with numbers 4, 5, 8, 11 and 14.
Okay, so those 5 numbers there in the first leg of the quaddie. Now, the second leg is a benchmark 78 2,000 metre event at 135. The scratchings here, Glenn, are 4, 8, 13 and 14.
This looks a little bit easier for the punters. I've narrowed it down to 2 key chances, and they both settle in the front half. The first of those is Zambardo, number 7. I got it on top. He's hard to fault. He's a former Kiwi, and he's just thriving and improving. Each time he runs here for the new stable with Price and Kent, he was heavily betted his past 2 starts, and he's delivered. Particularly last start, he switched off late. I think there's more to come from this horse, and today is his acid test, but he'll get a good run. MacDane is the danger. He could end up with a soft lead there, the 3. He's got Craig Williams aboard. Very consistent horse. He'll get every chance. I put Rise to It in for third. He looks the other speed influence. The firm track suits. And if you wanted to throw one in at odds, I thought So Brave could run a race. He was excellent winning at the Fresh at big odds. He's always shown above average ability. Whether Caulfield's his go, I'm not too sure. But I've nailed it down to 2 chances in the quaddie, numbers 3 and 7.
All right, race number 7 on the program. Group 3, it's the Coonji over the 2,000, scratching 6, 14, 16 and 17. The favourite, Quietness at 390, but it's fair to say, Glenn, she probably needs to win in Australia soon.
Yeah, great call. Both those city visitors that intrigued you this race. Now with there's quite a few scratchings here. The Great Victorian Hope, she's a hustler. She's come out. So this race opens right up. And as you said, Quietness needs a win. Had the tempo to suit first up and made good ground. I think gets its chance today, so you'd be disappointed if it's not in the finish. Wooten Verney had a sighted this way of going at Sandown, where he loomed and ran out of petrol there. That was a fast race. I think he can improve further his second up. Statuario seems to thrive at Caulfield and is ready to peak third up. And I wouldn't leave out Future History, who has been back to the jump outs since its last run there at Murtoa and looked in tip-top order there. So keep him safe third up in the prep today. He's about $17. My numbers in the third leg are 1, 7, 10 and 11.
All right, and we round it out with a benchmark 80 for the Warren Huntley Memorial over the 1,440 metres at 2:45. Glenn, the numbers here that we do not need to consider are 12, 14, 15 and 16.
Yeah, let's hope it's a good race for a very good man in Warren Huntley. It's a tough finish for the punters. Sunshine in My Pocket was a run short fresh at Moonee Valley and showed that in the finish against Charcoals, who was very brave. After a number of scratchings this morning, he now comes right into contention second up, rising in distance, and he always improves with that profile. Beltoro is one of the better roughies on the card. He's been working super at the jump outs, as I mentioned earlier, to resume. He'll get back and run on. If that pattern is okay, just watch for him late. Ndola is another horse we can throw in the mix here. He's come back well this preparation, went over to Adelaide and picked up a win, and he can improve second up. She Light is a very talented horse, and you can make a case for a number of runners in this. It's a really tough finish. I've gone the way of 1, 3, 4 and 5.
All right, that's in the final leg, and we've got your best bet a little bit earlier on. Glen Race 2, number 2, sent to Cavadi. Valley Race 1, number 8, Mr. Monaco at $9. And Beltoro, as you've explained there, at really big odds, 40-1. Small spec there in Race 8, number 1. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the day at Caulfield, and we'll take a look at the Cup on Friday.
Good on you. Thanks very much. Cheers.
There's Glenn Ingram. So that favourite in the first leg of the Quaddy Diggers, race 5, or second favourite, I should say, just like Gabby, daughter of loving Gabby.
Yes.
As you could probably tell by the name.
Yes, and she was a very, very talented filly.
Multiple Group 1 winner.
Multiple Group 1 winner, daughter of Vinny. So, and he's doing a wonderful job as a broodmare sire, and clearly this daughter of Pirata has her share of talent as well. Looking forward to seeing her going around.
Any thoughts there at Caulfield today?
No, I'm just looking. I've been looking more so at the 2-year-old race, to be fair, TC. I've got a lot of interest in that, just because it always tickles my pickle. The fresh faces. So, the field of 9 there now with a scratching of 5 face the wild. So we'll have a bit more of an idea of where some of these 2-year-olds stack up after this.
All right, looking forward to that. As we said, Caulfield racing on a Wednesday, never a bad thing.
The Sports Daily presents Chris Nelson with his look at Queensland racing.
How do you do, Chris?
Going well, thanks, Taylor. Good morning to you. Good morning, Digby.
Good morning, Chris. How do we find you?
Yeah, pretty good. No complaints. Still no rain up here, so very, very, very dry. We have a good 4 at Doomben to kick off with, but I would suggest we may get an upgrade during the day.
Okay, an upgrade during the day. Confidence levels?
No, not high. I've gone with 4 horses today that are all decent odds. So something small each way would probably be the best way to go here, guys, today. No, I can't find anything I'd say was a good thing.
Okay, but we are on a good track.
We definitely are on a good track.
All right. Your suggested bets before we get your very quick quaddie numbers, please.
There was a lot of numbers in that quaddie, so I'll probably have to go quite quick today. I might take up the whole segment. We will go. First of all, race 3, number 8, Dalladay. Now, a filly trained by Barry Lockwood and Emma Vincent, who are now in partnership with the training. I like the debut third at Doomben back on the 4th of June behind Certified Copy. Really hit the line strongly on that occasion. Now, they thought enough of this filly to put her in a listed race at her second start, the Oxlade, at Eagle Farm during the Carnival. Look, she did make some late ground once again, so she needs a little bit of ground. She's first up today, and she goes around over 1,200 metres, so I dare say she'll get further down the track in her career. But I did like her trial also. Where she gets to from the gate is the concern. That's why I'm suggesting something small each way, but I'm sure you will find her tacking the line with plenty of strength late. So let's have something each way. Race 3, number 8, Dial a Day. Then we will go to race 6. Now, this horse, number 10, Jellison, was a very good run at Ipswich 2 starts back. Ran third behind Freeland, who came out and won in town a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday. Couldn't get clear until late, and when he did, he really savaged the line. He probably should have won on that occasion. Now, he went to Eagle Farm last time out in a midweeker a couple of weeks ago. He raced up on speed this time. He sat outside the lead and breezed on a pretty decent speed, and he didn't really finish off. I think from the gate today they'll ride him with cover, and if they do, I think he's a much better chance. I don't think he's a good thing in this field, but I think he's got a great each-way chance. So I'll give him another go, and that's race 6, number 10, Gelatin.
Okay.
Race 7.
Yep.
Sorry. I should let you go, Digby. It's your show. So race 7.
Not for long.
Number 3. Fair call. Number 3, Ton of Grits. Very consistent. Last couple of thirds, Doomben and Toowoomba have been probably good enough to get away with something like this. 3 kilos off for Jace McMurray brings him down to 57. I think he's got an each-way chance. He's placed both goes at the track. So race 7, number 3, Ton of Grit. And in the last, race 8, number 6, Live a Little. Tony Gollan and Andrew Mallion. Only 3 starts. Good debut in at the Sunny Coast. Good second up third at Doomben. And then I liked the first up fifth at Eagle Farm. Really hit the line well over the last 100 metres. He's by the Autumn Sun. He gets an extra 150 today. I think he's got a good chance. So sort of be a feast or a famine, I think, with these today. But that's the last of them. Race 8, number 6, Live a Little.
Okay, race 3, number 8, $8. Race 6, number 10, $7. Race 7, number 3, $7.50. And race 8, number 6, $8.50, Chris. So we only need one winner there. Hopefully we're in front. Quaddie, please.
Okay, here we go. First leg, 2, 3, 6 and 11.
2,
Second
3,
leg,
6.
10.
Yeah, oh. Yes.
Are you going to repeat?
No. Sorry.
Shut up. Let him go.
Second leg, 10, 1, 11, 9 and 12. Third leg, 3, 12 and 5. And the final leg, 6, 1, 13 and 8.
Lovely. 2, 3, 6, 11, 10, 1, 11, 9 and 12. 3, 12 and 5 and 6, 1, 13 and 8.
Correct weight.
Beautiful.
Correct. An invite to the barrier draw last night, Chris?
No, that must have got lost in the mail somewhere between here and Sydney. But, pretty extravagant as per usual. And I don't know, I'm thinking right now I'll be happy to take on the favourite.
Happy to take him on? What's your knock?
Yeah, well, look, no knock. My knock is, well, I wasn't wrapped in the trial, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to line up, take that short a price about a horse I've never even seen before, and we don't know if he's going to measure up or not. I mean, he could be a superstar, which he is over in Hong Kong, or he could just struggle at this level. And if we do get some rain Friday night, and there is a storm forecast, that's not going to help his chances either. So, I mean, if you're taking that short price about a horse, you want everything in your favour. And I just don't think there's everything in my favour if I did, because I don't know enough about him and how he's fit in and all of those things. So I have to go looking for something else.
Is there a key danger, or are you taking him on with a few?
Not yet. I haven't had a good look, but just looking at the barrier draws and the horses, you know, what I know of them, I think Jolie Star might be very nicely placed, and she did run a good race in that last year. She got a good gate, so she should be able to just lob behind them, you think, better than midfield. And if she can do that and get to the outside, she's going to be very, very hard to hold out. But that's at this early stage.
Yep.
When we get to Friday and we chat, I will have a definite. But I can tell you, not knocking the favourite, but I'm knocking the price.
Okay. We'll ask you again on Friday. Yeah, sure. Absolutely, it makes sense.
What camp are you guys in?
I'd Jolie Star if I had to be in one. Makes it a very interesting betting race. Like you said, you haven't seen the horse before, and you're just listening to other people's opinions with ratings and speed ratings and all that sort of thing. So Makes it a very interesting race this year.
It certainly does. Digby?
Oh, I
Now
just
feel like
think,
it's my show.
yeah. Look, no bet for me, but I'm fascinated to have a look at the Hong Kong horse just because you see what he does up there in Hong Kong. And I said to TC yesterday, it's no grandiose statement. If the best version of him rocks up, I think he wins, and he wins comfortably. His ratings suggest that, but we know he has to do it down here in Australia, and he might get a different track. I know the weather's fine in Sydney at the moment, but if he gets a little bit of a track with some give in it, who knows? So cannot wait to watch it, though. It will be a great race.
No, it certainly creates a heap of interest, and I'm like you, I can't wait.
All right, we'll get you back on your show on Friday, Chris.
I look forward to it. Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
There's Chris Nelson at Doomben. Taking a look at that meeting now, taking a look at the Warwick Farm meeting. Brad Davidson joins us on the Sports Daily. Brad, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
Very well, Brad. Were you on that boat with your rod and tackle box last night?
I would have taken the old tackle box, that's for sure. Thrown out a line to try to get a kingfish, but no, I wasn't part of that. I was at home on the couch, so no, all good.
What's your take on that barrier draw? I know you'll dissect it and do a bit of a deeper dive over the next 24 to 48, but has it caused you to do a double take on any of those horses?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it a little bit harder for the likes of Briasa and Jimmy Starr. That was probably my take out of it. They're going to need a little bit of luck and a bit to go right from out there. But, you know, if Jimmy Starr gets in the 3 wide line, it's not that bad either. So, yeah, I think the draw is pretty good for the fave. He can probably just, he'd probably land outside the lead, I would suggest, instead of leading. That would be probably where I thought he'd be. But, yeah, we'll wait and see how that pans out. But, yeah, it's always fascinating. Jolly Star draws well, maybe too well. That's the only little concern. You know, 5, you can get kind of cluttered up a little bit. Maybe they would have liked 7 or 8. But I think, you know, they've got to be pretty happy with that, getting in the running line and trying to get to the outside where she produces her best.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, 7 races on the program today at Warwick Farm. What are the confidence levels like?
A bit of a tricky little midweek meeting, but we'll do our best. We'll kick off in race number 1 with the best, number 1, Chikama. Look, I just thought it looked a 2-horse race for me between him and Clan William. They both come through the same race behind Ripley there at Rose Hill on October 1 over 1,200. Look, Clan William's going to really appreciate the step to 1,400, and maybe Chikama's a little bit of a query there, but I just think he can miss the start, Clan William, and likely to get a fair way back, where Chikama, I think, can jump on the bunny today, showed good speed there first up and just went back from the gate. A lot less pressure in this race to 1,400. Thought he could go forward, control the race with Nash on, rail out 5 today, should be a bit on pace, and with all that in mind, I thought he was the best of the day. Race 1, number 1, that was where I'll start things.
Okay, where do we go after that?
Just one other today, race 3, number 6, Nitro. I thought the horse just trialled well enough leading into this. He's been well backed already, but he's on debut for Peter Snowden and, trialled really well behind, beating Mrs. Marie recently, closed off really strongly, drawn the inside gate today, and I just thought could make a winning debut, so that was the other one. In race number, I just lost the race number there, race 3, number 6, Nitro.
Yep, $3.80 with Tab Touch on debut in the Derby colours there for Peter Snowden and Tommy Sherry, as he touched on, Brad. All right, Quaddy kicks off race number 4.
Yep, quaddy numbers today. I've gone in the first leg 2, 5 and 4. That's 2, 5 and 4. Second leg 1, 7, 8 and 5. 1, 7, 8 and 5. Third leg 3, 11, 4 and 9. That's 3, 11, 4 and 9. And 2, 6, 7 and 14. That's 2, 6, 7 and 14 to bring us home in the last leg.
Okay, 2, 6, 7 and 14 in the final leg of the quaddy there on a good track at Warwick Farm. Brad, thank you. Everything else all good over there?
Yeah, all good over here. Be interested to see if we get any rain on Friday into the Everest on Saturday, but we'll keep an eye on that. The other one I'll give you today, Sandown, race 2, number 2, Cento Cavati is my best anywhere. I thought this horse would run well in a Caulfield Guineas and couldn't get in, so I think today's a lovely race to the mile.
All right, beautiful. The Autumn boy, what'd you make of that win?
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he? Yeah, he set off that hot speed and, look, helped that Wotan pulled up lame. So, you know, there probably wasn't a lot of opposition after he had a forgive run. But, no, he was super.
All right. We'll speak to you again next week, Brad. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
All right. Was it last week or the week before we had that Gavin Bedgood horse at Enamarada. Everyone wanted to jump on it. Seems like
She's
it's pretty
2 for 2
similar
now.
to Centu Cavati.
Price?
Was $2.30 when Glenn Ingram tipped.
What are we
20
looking
minutes ago?
And now?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, but it's been truckloaded.
Oh, we can say
still
that.
$2.30. Still $2.30 and a pay 1.2 there. Benchmark 70 for the 3-year-olds over the mile. So Centu Cavati to be ridden by the very much informed Blake Shin for Trent and Natalie.
Absolutely. So what we do know is if there are a few tipsters tipping into Centu Cavati, clearly the figures and ratings and data are all pretty good. So some of the bigger syndicates might tip into that horse as well, and the price might shorten. So the tips there, if you've missed anything, Glen Ingram at Caulfield today, race 2, number 2, $2.30. Centu Cavati is value. Race 1, number 8, Mr. Monaco at $9. And then Blowout. Race 8, number 1, Bel Toro, 40 to 1.
Okay,
That'd be a big effort.
It would be a big effort. So that's Glenn at Caulfield. Chris Nelson, Doomben, race 3, number 8, Dial a Day. Race 6, number 10, Gelatin. Race 7, number 3, Ton of Grit. And race 8, number 6, Live a Little.
All right, Warwick Farm from Brad, you've just heard race 1, number 1, Chikama, his best at $2. And race 3, number 6, Nitro at $3.80, his 2 tips. Quaddies and things up on our X page, social media. If you've missed any of those, we'll repeat the tips throughout the Sports Daily. Come back with Shayne Williams and Bjorn Baker not too far away from joining us as well.
On the Sports Daily, the Shayne train's coming into the station. Here's Shayne Williams with his winners for tonight's WA Greyhound Racing.
Good morning to you, Shayne Train.
Good morning, TC. Good morning, Diggers. How are we, boys?
Very well, and you?
Yeah, very well, thanks, mate. Very well. Nice day ahead. So, looking forward to it.
You saw them well yesterday or last night?
Yeah, we ended up having a scratching, so I threw another one out there. Hopefully people got that one, and we were 3 from 3 last night, so that was good, Diggs.
Well done.
Wonderful. Lovely. All right, so can we do that again tonight?
Well, that's the plan, TC.
Well, that's a good plan, Shayne. Well done. I like that.
We love it when a plan comes together, TC. Love it.
Oh, it's nothing better. What's better than that, Shayne? Don't answer.
The A-team. You remember that? Diggs will.
Yeah, I do remember the A-team.
Yeah.
Different generations.
Mr. T.
Yeah.
You should have a mohawk like him, Shayne.
Mate, I'm getting very thin on top. Very
No,
thin.
you can do it. You could put a gold chain around your neck and get a mohawk. You'd be fine.
Grant Williams keeps telling me, mate, just shave it off. Just get it over and done with.
Follow his lead.
Yes.
Righto, let's go.
Well, we'll kick it off in the first tonight, boys. Race 1, number 4, Mad Howler. Oh, we're on him last week. I'm happy to give him one more chance after not having the best of luck last week. He didn't show that good early speed last week, and then he took the wrong option trying to gather in the leader. So not much speed drawn around him tonight, so I expect him to find the front, and from there he won't be for catching. Race 1, number 4.
All right, so that market is up $1.85 for Mad Howler. Where do we go next?
Yeah, 7-3 Bolt of Fun. She's been racing well and is very honest and consistent, only missing the place once in her 8 career starts. One here, 2 starts back in 21.92, and the best part of that was the 6.47 early split. She's usually a reliable beginner, and we'll need her to show that early burn again tonight to get to the front and go all the way. Race 7, number 3.
Okay, and your final play, please, Shayne.
Yeah, 8-3 Security Spot. Now, I'm jumping off Tory Keeping here, who has put us in the Burns unit at Fiona Stanley her last 2 runs. So Security Spot returns to Kennington after doing most of his recent racing at Mandurah. He went back-to-back 4 and 5 runs back, and one of them wins was in a very handy 22.53, which quite simply, boys, would be too good for these. Race 8, number 3, Security Spot to finish us off.
Okay, so 1-4, 7-3, 8-3. Do we get the money nice and early?
I don't like to make the best bet in the maiden, TC, so we'll go with the Credelli train Security Spot, race 8, number 3, and if Tory Keeping wins, you won't see me for a couple of days.
All right, so you'll have a throwdown.
I'll be right off.
Yep, fair enough.
Throw myself down.
That adds a little bit of interest to the meeting then.
Be a big bang. Be a big bang, won't it?
There'll be a lot of emotion surrounding race 8 tonight at Kennington. That's set to go at 8.53. So looking forward to that. Shayne, do you have a thought in the Everest?
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? I'd actually like Lady Shenandoah as a horse, but obviously it's a tough race. But yeah, I'll be cheering Zach on. But yeah, actually had a quick text message chat with him yesterday, and I said you got to get here for a carnival before you hang the saddle up, and he said it's on the list. So hopefully we can get him here very soon.
You've got enough horses that you could give him a few rides.
Oh, he wouldn't be on riding any of mine these days. Maybe back in the day, yeah, but not now.
He would be a welcome addition if he did come here, that's for sure.
He'd get well looked after, no doubt, that's for sure, boys. And I'm just looking at the card tonight. I've got 3 favourites, so God help us tonight, boys.
All right. What race is Shayne?
I don't know, but Pam Keeping's the best of mine. She's in race 8 or 9, box 1. So
hopefully she's not in race 8. That's security.
No, 9.
Race 8.
It must be 9, is it?
Yes, it is. 1. Race 9, number 1, yeah.
She'll be the best of mine. She's been racing well and hasn't been able to lead. I think she gets to the front tonight and be hard to beat.
Playing golf today?
Yes. I'm first up from a spell, and I think bad news for Greg Horn is he's got to lump me around. So they tell me he's been in winning form. So that might change today.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. All right, thank you. We'll chat tomorrow.
See you, boys. All the best.
Not too many bad horses in the stable for Bjorn Baker at the moment, though. They're all going very, very well, and he joins us on the Sports Daily now. Bjorn, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Great to have a chat to you again, Bjorn. Were you on that super yacht last night or looking from afar from your Kirribilli mansion?
I don't know about the Kirribilli mansion at Warwick Farm as I speak to you. I'm driving over the beautiful Georges River, full shark infested, and there are a fair few sharks in that big launch last night, so I felt like I was the bait. But no, it's good to be involved. It's a busy week, and no, it was a pretty exciting event.
How is the champ overpass?
Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with him, and he had a really good gallop yesterday, which was very much mirrored probably what he's done prior to his Quokka and Winterbottom and successes, and of course when he came second in the TJ and won the Sydney Stakes last year on the same day. So from a fitness point of view, I'm confident he's there, and as much as anything this morning he's bucking his brands off. So I think we've got him in a really good space. I think the gate 9 is not a negative. We're going to be positive, and if he doesn't lead, he'll be outside lead, and I think he's ready to run a race. And if he runs up to his absolute best, he's not completely out of it, and I think it's a race. There's going to be a lot of money to be made for all the punters because Ying Rising might be the best in the world, but I think he's going to have to be to travel and win on Saturday.
All right. What did you make of that trial? Of course, Overpass was next to Ying Rising in that trial.
Yeah, I thought it was a good trial. It was a little bit of cut in the track, and I think it definitely brought us on. So I think, look, it puts us in the mark with Ying Rising. He's a horse that always finds more under pressure Overpass. So when you look at a trial like that, you could maybe question it a bit, but I think there's plenty left. And as much as anything, Josh was really happy with him, and he was very comfortable how he went, how he recovered, and he's been great since.
Bjorn, you mentioned just before about the gallop and how it mirrored what you'd seen previously, you know, leading into these big races over here and clearly on the East Coast. Is that data-related, fitness-related to your eye? What do you mark that track gallop on?
Yeah, I guess it's a combination of everything, and we do look at the data, we look at the times and the heart recovery, and that's a tool. It's a good tool, but often you can overanalyse it. So we definitely like to give him a really good hit out and give him a strong gallop on the Tuesday before, and then we'll just keep him fresh and keep him in the routine going into Saturday. So it's a combination of everything. Sometimes you can. There's a lot of variables as a horse trainer you can look at, infinite amount really, and sometimes you can analyse to paralyse you. You look into too many things too much. So we tend to take what's relevant for him, but I think he looks great. His work's been good, and we know he performs really well fresh up 1200.
Oh, you ever worried he's never going to come back? For the last 5, 6 or 7 seasons, he just comes back and puts in the same performances over and over again.
Yeah, he does. He's been a remarkable horse. I say he's a trainer's dream because every spring and autumn since he's been 2, he's been competing against the best, and generally he's able to win a race or at least place in the big races. So someone said, what's he mean to the stable? He means so much. He takes the pressure off. He's put us up in headlights. He's cemented my relationship with Derby. And as much as anything, he's introduced me to a whole new heap of friends, specifically in West Australia. So he's been a magical horse to train.
Bjorn, you've been a part of the Everest Theatre previously with this horse. How does this year's edition stack up form-wise, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's right up there. I think, it's definitely a packed race. There's not many horses that you can't mount a case for. So I think there's plenty of depth, and that's even taking out probably Shayne Rising. Maybe if he turns up, he gets the real deal. But it's definitely going to add a lot of intrigue. So, yeah, it's a tough race wherever you look. I guess Chris Waller's 3 are all going to be very, very competitive. Briasa is an exceptional sprinter, as we've learned firsthand, and it's a tough race. So I think it's been one of the world's top-rated sprints over the past few years in terms of pure ratings and figures, and I think it definitely measures up to that again.
Will Pericles and Within the Law run in the King Charles?
Yeah, Pericles, he's in great order. He was very good in Epsom. Prior to that, he was good.
Oh, the Bull Sharks got him.
Bull Sharks did get him. Yes, that's disappointing. We just lost.
Within the Law.
We were about to find out whether Within the Law under 48 kilos would take her place in the King Charles, but we'll get him back now. We'll see if we can get Bjorn back on the line and get his view on Pericles, and we can ask him about Pericles not only for the weekend upcoming, but also whether Pericles is going to make his way to Western Australia. Was among the noms for our pinnacles as well.
Yep, absolutely. Third in the Epsom last time out, as Bjorn was halfway through explaining. Tramway, really good win first up. Private Eye, we know how well Private Eye was going early stages of this spring, so that form reads really, really well. So Pericles clearly in tip-top order, and then of course 48 kilos Within the Law, running behind Apocalyptic, who might be one out of the box, goes towards 1,000 guineas. But
yes.
I thought the Bull Sharks might have got him, but he's all right. Bjorn, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's actually, as I was going past the Georges River, I was going past the Ready to Run complex, sales at Inglis, and I saw a few bloodstock agents, and I thought I'd rather take on the Bull Sharks than the bloodstock agents.
You ducked. You ducked and wound the windows up.
Yeah, it's good to be back and get out alive, I tell you. And I've even got my wallet. I have to do the Aussie haka.
Pericles?
We're talking about the King Charles. This is the closest I'll ever get to royalty. And you've got a dream. But I think Pericles is going really well. I think he's fitter for his recent racing. He was good in Epsom, and I think he can run a big race. And Within the Law is definitely one from left field, but she's rock hard fit. She's very good in the flight stakes, and the weight for age conditions at 1,609 metres as opposed to 1,600, she gets an extra kilo, so she only carries 48 kilos. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to add a fair bit of intrigue to the race.
Who rides Within the Law then? Is that Rachel, or is she not able to get to that?
Well, it's funny. Look, I can be honest with you guys over in Perth, but I said to my racing manager, Luke, I said, who's married to Rachel, of course, I said, mate, we might look at and Luke and I were great mates, but we argue all the time, a lot about jockeys. And I said, mate, maybe we'll go to the King Charles, Luke. He said, I don't know if it's the right race. I said, well, he said, who's going to ride? I said, well, who is going to ride? And I said, well, Rachel can do 48, can't she? And when he heard that, he said, oh, it's not a bad option for us.
Oh, is it money a great incentive?
Yeah, so we're on the same path. We're looking at it and we're dreaming. But I guess as much as anything, Derby, they're always willing to take a risk and try different things. And Scott came third with Yankee Rose in the Cox Plate as a 3-year-old filly. So he's keen to have a go, and you've got to be in to win. And I think she looks absolutely fantastic today, and she galloped super yesterday. So one thing in her past couple of races, she's run really well without the speed in the race, and we will get speed on Saturday. So that's going to give us a hope.
All right, and we know Pericles was in the nominations for some of our big races over here in Perth. Overpass, obviously, on the way over as well. Bjorn, how many horses have you sort of got penciled in for the trip to Perth at the moment?
Yeah, the Pericles is definitely live. Overpass, we would look to head towards the Winterbottom, probably regardless of what happens on Saturday. We'd love to make it 3 in a row, and I've even got Steffi Magnetica nominated there, one or two others. So I'd like to think we can get 2 or 3 over, and look, it's a busy time of the year, but I'll be missing out on whatever I can to get back over to Perth. So looking forward to getting there.
Just one last one before we let you go. Do you have a winner on the home track today?
Yeah, I think Rapidash will be a good chance in the last. She's drawn a bit awkwardly, but she's got a good turn of foot and she's going really well.
All right, race 7, number 6 for the listeners. All right, good luck with those bloodstock agents, sharks and everything else you're about to encounter.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's Aussies too. Some country.
Chop it out. See you, Bjorn. Thank you.
There's Bjorn Baker, one of the world's great forklift salesmen.
Yes, he is. He's a very good man. So Overpass, there's a good push, isn't it? Horse is in excellent order, and the piece of work that he produced this week was something very similar to what he's produced before, some excellent runs in Group 1 races previously. So Overpass, barrier 9, was it TC? Barrier 9 in the Everest last night there. That gala barrier draw on Sydney Harbour. So
what's going on with the King Charles, the 1,609
metres? That's an interesting point that he makes, though.
Yeah. Odds weight for age 1,600, they would have carried 49.
49.
And because it's gone up in trip by 9 metres.
She carries 48 kilos, the filly.
New South Wales have just changed it for the King Charles.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? And I think Bjorn, not only there, but certainly during the week, said 49 kilos. You go, look, it is an advantage. 48, it's basically the 48 kilos turned his head.
Yeah.
So now we get to see her go around, hopefully, on Saturday. Rachel to ride, and what promises to be an excellent edition of the King Charles.
Yeah, well, you say Mr. Brightside carries 59 and Within the Law carries 48.
Yeah.
You don't see that spread in the weights too often in Australian racing these days.
No, and Pericles, to be fair, hasn't he been super since he's been in the stable of Bjorn? He trialled up. He obviously, was rock hard fit, or not rock hard fit, but he trialled it with James and then was transferred to Bjorn, had a trial, and then he won the Tramway and then was third in the Epsom. So under 57 kilos, it was a big effort.
Yeah, well, if he comes to Perth, he's currently rated 112, so it'll be interesting to see what he does to those railway weights. He'd be just in under Western Empire and Magnificent Andy, I think, who would still be, I think, both at 113, who would both still be top weights at this stage of the ones we hear that are travelling. Head out to a short break, the news on the other side, and then we'll catch up with Terry Henderson, chat more racing here on the Sports Daily. But turning our attention to the Caulfield Cup and some other Group 1 races around the world now on the Sports Daily. Time now on the Sports Daily to welcome in Terry Henderson from OTI Racing. A big couple of days around the world for Terry. Terry, good morning and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, guys.
How's everything going with Deakin ahead of the Caulfield Cup on Saturday?
Yes, very well. Phil Stokes is very happy with Deakin, and I think he's had pretty much a perfect prep getting into this race, and obviously he's going to get the Melbourne Cup after it. But hopefully we end up with a good barrier draw today, and we look forward to Saturday.
How enthused were you, Terry, by the performance in the Turnbull behind Sir Delius?
No, very happy with that. He had to be ridden aggressively early to get that forward spot, and he was back on the rail. We were very happy with his sectionals. And all in all, it was probably close to a career best run over the 2,000. It'll be further improved by getting out to 2,400. But, for where we are and what we expect of the horse, we're delighted.
What were the reports ahead of that Turnbull? Was there still a little bit of improvement to come with him?
Yes, I watched him trial about 10 days before then at Pakenham. and he trialled exceptionally well. But he did have another blow, and that really set him up well. 3 or 4 days before the Turnbull, Phil gave him another solid piece of work over a shorter journey, and he said going to the Turnbull, he's just about there. So, for a staying horse, he should be spot on.
Terry, the good thing with this horse, I suppose, is that back in the autumn when he got to this distance range, admittedly in an easier class of race, he really shone through.
Yes, and that's the big difference between now and the autumn. He broke the track record at Moonee Valley, and then he won the Roy Higgins well. But he was racing against certainly inferior quality than he's going to be meeting on Saturday. When there's some nice horses, obviously the progressive horse of Tony McAvoy's as well as the imports. Maidana's a serious horse, and if it takes its game to the races, it'll be hard to beat. So we're in a different class of race, but he certainly deserves to be there on the back of what he did do in the autumn.
You mentioned Maidan. You live in that international space. Can you just alert our listeners as to the quality of this horse?
Naturally, he's a high quality horse, but he is quirky. Sometimes he doesn't take his game day to the races, and that's, to be frank, what we're hoping for on Saturday. But if he does run up to his true ability, he'll be very hard to beat. He's been up against the best of the European stayers. Giovanetto, I think he finished second behind during the year, and he just ran fourth in the Arc. So he's a high quality horse, and he's trained by very good trainers. So they'll have him right as best they can for Saturday.
He's on the second line of betting with Tab Touch for the Caulfield Cup, Maidan. Can I ask, it's garnered a little bit of discussion on the Sports Daily this week, Terry, about this week, and maybe in Australia it shifted towards being the Everest week as opposed to Caulfield Cup week. You speak to a lot of international racing people. Is the Caulfield Cup still as highly regarded now as it was 15, 20 years ago?
Well, comparatively, especially when you've got the Everest on the same day, probably not. But then it depends where you are. I think if you're in England or France, the Caulfield Cup still has dominance because they don't have the emphasis on the sprinters that we do. But certainly, if you're in Hong Kong, you wouldn't know the Caulfield Cup was on. So there is a real difference, and this Everest this year is going to be a sensational race from an international perspective because you've got all of Asia's eyes on it, and it would actually be a remarkable thing for racing. In this part of the world, should a Kane Rising win it, because the prominence of the Everest to just rocket further than what it has.
Yeah. Is it still a special race to you, the Caulfield Cup?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the great staying races of Australia. It's a $5 million race. It won't be of the same high quality as the Melbourne Cup appears to be. The Melbourne Cup this year looks to be a really high quality race. But it is, got that tradition. It's actually 30 years ago, this Caulfield Cup, since we last won it. So we'd love to be there again. It is still a very special race. But, it perhaps has lost a little bit of its luster comparatively, not necessarily for the more traditionalists like me that, have seen this race as a race that's produced great horses over the years.
So, Terry, one last word on Deacon before I just ask you about Perfumist. Is he going to have to produce a career PB to win on Saturday?
I would think so, yes. I would think so, and I think he's capable of doing it. He's a more mature horse than he was in the autumn. We need things to go our way. The Caulfield Cups, you need your fair bit of luck in the Caulfield Cup. There are a lot of horses that really are close to each other on class. So that's when the luck comes in. And, I think we're going to need that on Saturday. But, from what we see, we'd be disappointed if he wasn't in the first four, to put it bluntly.
All right, fair enough. A good push there for Deacon. Now, what about Perfumist? Does she take her place in the Group 3 angst on Saturday?
Yes, that's the plan. she had a great prep last time. She had a couple of runs that were so-so going into this prep, and then she performed a career best run the other day. So she's primed. She worked extremely well on Tuesday. Bjorn's delighted with her, and you might even see her in Perth later in the year with any bit of luck.
All right, fingers crossed that is the case. Sam Hawkins in the St. Ledger. William Haggis trains Aussie debut, won his last 3. What can you tell the punters about this horse?
A good horse. A good knockabout horse, you would say. William only had the horse for about 12 months. His son bought him. William didn't particularly like him when he arrived in the stable, and then he started to like him when he yelled at him and he started to win. And we then bought him, and William actually has stayed in the ownership. So he'll run an extremely good race. His work in quarantine has been excellent. In fact, he's excelled in quarantine. And so we think he's going to be really up for the fight on Saturday against a couple of very good up and coming horses. So it won't be a walk in the park, but on what he's done so far, he does deserve to be favourite for the race.
So Terry, as we speak to you this morning, you've jetted into Sydney. You're back to Melbourne later on today, and then you're across to Europe later in the week. Is that correct?
Yes, it's Champions Day on Saturday. I'm going to actually miss the Caulfield Cup. And we've got Docklands in the Queen Elizabeth II mile over there, which is a Group 1 race down the straight at Ascot, which is his favourite journey. So we've got Group 1 races all over the place over the next few days. So it's quite exciting.
Can Docklands win?
Yes, he can. He's continued to surprise everyone at Ascot. When he won during the Royal Ascot meeting, I think it was about 10 or 12 to 1. He'll probably start about 10 or 12 to 1 on Saturday. His form has been good all season, and Harry Eustace was very, very happy with him. I spoke to Harry last night, and he thinks he's ready to go.
All right, and a couple of runners today, including Mark Twain in the Coonji at Caulfield. Is there something you can tip the listeners into today?
Certainly Golden Century in the first. Yep. He's the New Zealand horse that ran third in the Derby. But Regal Lion in the first, he'll be a bigger odds. He'll probably be about 20 to 1. He'll actually run a really good race. He's coming along really good with Gavin Bedford. Mark Twain, he's been pulling too hard in his races. We've put a Norton bid on him today. He'll drop back into 2,000 metres. We want to see him relax and finish off. If he can do that, he'll then probably go to the Moonee Valley Cup or the Bendigo Cup and hopefully win his way into the Melbourne Cup. But he's not racing he's well enough now. He looks fantastic, is working really well, but he's ruining his own chances by pulling too hard in his races. So the objective today is to hopefully see this Norton bit work as the horse drops back in the 400 metres.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on the OTI colours in race number 1 today at Caulfield. Thank you very much for your time, Terry. I understand it's a very busy period, and good luck all around the world on Saturday.
Mate, thanks, guys. Cheers.
Make Tab Radio your station of choice each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Chris Gangemi and Jason Miller to join us before 8 o'clock, and then the Ascot preview. 8 races on the program from 8 o'clock. Greg L's got in touch on the Retrovision text line diggers. Here we go. Yes. Sunshine in my pocket, race 7 at Caulfield today. Load up and thank me later.
Okay. All right. Currently, just looking. What race did he say?
He said race 7.
Race 7. Trying to find it.
It's race 8.
Okay, I was looking at it in the Coonji. I'm thinking, that's interesting. Okay, race 8, number 5, $2.60. Logan Bates, 58 after the claim, second up. Okay, all right, thank you.
Came flying home, didn't it, last time at Moonee Valley, I think?
Correct, yes. All right.
That was grand final eve.
Now 1,440 metres. Second up, okay. Did you have a thought in the Coonji yourself?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, not my sort of Adam Blanco. I'm sure if we follow him on X, he'll have a tip.
He'll most definitely have a tip. Now, the barrier draw for the Caulfield Cup, 25 minutes away. Half yours, your $2.60 favourite with Tab Touch.
Cross Generations today at Ascot. Did you give it any chance?
I did.
Okay. That's the one that I think... I might have one bet today. That might be it.
That might be you? Okay.
That might be me. Slammers text in. It is the pick 22 Sydney want back, which is a stumbling block for Carlton. We need that for our father, son and academy picks.
Okay, and that's the compo for Jack Silvani.
Yes. So Sydney want that included, obviously.
Yes.
And Charlie Curnow. But Carlton say no.
Yeah. So there's a bit of work to be done, it would seem, from Sydney's viewpoint, and the same applies to Hawthorn.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of state testing going on the last couple of days too. Charlie Banfield seems to have performed well for Eagles fans.
That's encouraging, isn't it? Came on in the back half of the year, so that's really, really good to see.
Yeah, dominated in the Waffle Colts Grand Final.
Yes, he did.
That's Van Rooyen. He's a big lad.
Yeah, well, he's like his brother. Brother's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. So, I feel for the Melbourne forwards. And Brady Myercheck, he's a workhorse. Well, he's going to have to work harder than ever to impact the scoreboard because they're just they're very labour-intensive, Melbourne, aren't they? Or they have been, whether that changes.
Clayton Oliver out of the midfield, to be fair.
Yeah, but they're clunky. They're really clunky when they go forward. Yep. So let's hope that Stephen King can address that and give the forwards a chance to show their wares.
Yep, absolutely. They've got enough damaging forwards up there, Melbourne. Just unfortunately the system's broken down in the last couple of years and haven't been able to use them to their best ability. All right, speaking of ability, a stable that has plenty of it is the Gangemi team, and they've got some nice horses heading towards some big races over the carnival here at Ascot. We saw a couple on Monday at the trials. Chris Gangemi joins us on the Sports Daily now. Chris, a very good morning to you.
Morning, boys. How we going?
Going really well. Chris, great to have a chat to you. Thanks so much for your time. Now, just before we have a look at your runners today, if we can just go all the way back to Saturday, Rosterslav, you must have been really encouraged by that performance in what was a good race.
Yeah, it was a really good race. Obviously, going into a Diggers, we were hoping he was up to them, and he definitely showed he was. He should have got him a lovely run from the gate, and he looked the winner sort of halfway down the straight, just peaked on his run, which we thought he might do. He's quite a big gross horse, so I dare say should have come in and said he improved sort of 4 or 5 lengths from the trial to the race, and he's hopefully got another couple of lengths improvement into his next start. So Shooter's pretty excited about riding him, and we're pretty excited to have him in the stable.
Have you worked out when that next start is?
Yeah, that'll be in the 1100 Placid Arc Prelude, mate, and hopefully he runs well in that and can go on to the Placid Arc.
Okay, so both runs at this stage of his career, we've only seen him twice. Chris, have been over the 1,000. The 1100's the next assignment. Distance-wise, what's going to be his pet trip in time?
I'd imagine somewhere between that 1,000 and 1,200. I'm pretty confident he's a sprinter. And to settle, I think 1,200 won't be a problem when he learns to settle, but at the moment he's just going a bit fierce, so hoping with a run under his belt, possibly even a gear change. Very similar to Repossession this time last year, actually. In his first up run last week, Repossession got a bit fierce. We ended up putting a crossover noseband on him. We'll probably give this bloke one more chance, and if he doesn't sort of settle better next start, that could be an option for him third up.
All right. You speak about Repossession. What did you make of that most recent trial earlier this week?
Yeah, very happy. He's main thing with him is just keeping him sound, and touch wood, he has been all prep. So we purposely put him in the 850 trial, not 1,000. He's still 3 weeks off racing, so he didn't need to go out there and bust his gut just yet. So Brad very happy with the way he moved. His sound going into it, sound coming out of it. Overall time was slow, but sectionals were good. We had the equimeter on him. He ran his last 633 too, and home in 22 flat. So times were, the run home times were very good. Moved well. Everything seems in order with him. So a couple more good gallops, and we'll be heading to the Prince of Wales first up. Okay, so is he Prince of Wales, as you said, Prince of Wales, Colonel Reeves, Winterbottom? Is that the intention, Chris? Yeah, that's the plan with him, Diggers, for sure. Okay, so when you look at him, no doubt you've kept a really close eye on him from the last start, I think, which was in the Beaufort, and then he spells, comes back in. What are you looking at as a physical specimen now as opposed to what you were witnessing each day in the winter? He's a lot bigger and stronger now. Each prep he's come back that bit bigger and stronger. Obviously now is the biggest and strongest he's ever been. He's eaten well, he's holding his condition well. Early in his career he's a bit of a sort of lightly framed horse, but he's grown into a nice, big, strong horse now. And the main thing with him, Diggers, was over the winter when he won them 3 races, it was problem after problem with them feet, patch him up, missing work, all the rest of it, and we're still able to win the 3 from 3, including the Beaufort. So we're just praying we can have a relatively problem-free prep with his feet, and if we can do that, we should see an even better horse than what we saw in the winter.
You threw in a nomination for the Gold Rush. Is that sort of just hopeful, or are you pretty confident he'll stretch out to 1,400 metres?
That would depend on how he's going, Taylor, and how he went in the winter bottom. It's not impossible. I don't think although he's won most of his races over 1,000 thus far, I don't think he's a 1,000-metre horse, to be honest. So I think 12 will definitely be right up his alley, and how he goes in that will depend on whether he goes on the Gold Rush.
All right, Chris. Now, this might be a stupid question, so apologies. So what's the thought process with a Calabrese who could have been really competitive today? You've elected to scratch and go to Saturday. Is it gate-related, or do you genuinely think he can go there and win on the weekend?
Yeah, I think he's a good chance Saturday. Diggers, and the race worth 3 times as much. So
it was a stupid question.
Today wasn't going to be easy. He obviously had one of Grant Alanas and a couple others in the go right too. So if he looked at certainty today, we probably would have gone today. But today's wasn't a bad race. He had 59.5, and obviously on Saturday he's drawn 1 with 54, and obviously there's good speed in the race, and we think he's up to that class. So we're going to have a throw at the stumps on Saturday.
Couldn't have trialled much better.
No, he trialled beautifully. We've always thought he's a Saturday class horse. He's always worked like one. His manners have let him down so far. In the trial, he sort of did everything right, bar hanging a little bit in the straight. So we've got the bubble cheeker to go on race day. So no, we do think he's up to that class once he gets his manners right. And I think from barrier 1 with 54 on his back, not a bad time to try it.
All right. Now, can I just ask you today about Toscano? Is today the day where he can break the maiden status over the 1,500 metres, albeit it is a pretty tricky gate?
Yeah, it'd be nice. He deserves to win one. He's obviously run 3 seconds this prep, including his last 2 starts. So he deserves to break through. And had he drawn a gate, I would have thought the 1,500 was right up his alley and a lovely race for him. But from that gate, obviously we'll need a bit of luck and a good ride from Stevie. But if he gets that, I'm sure he'll be right in the finish again.
You've got a couple of other runners on the day, races 1 and 2, that are at bigger odds. Can you make a case for either or both?
I think the Sessione next prep will be all right. He just seems to have trained off a bit, so this will be his last run this prep. But hopefully he can run better than he did first up. That horse and then go for a spell and come back next prep. I think he's capable of winning a couple of races, but it may not be this prep with him. But thank God, I didn't mind his 2 runs last prep, and just disappointed with his trial this prep. But his work either side of that's been really good. So hoping, thank God, can run a cheeky race, and probably a bit strong for him today. But in the maiden in a couple of weeks, hopefully it'll be hard to beat.
Now, he was nommed for both the Guineas and the Placid Arc, so clearly you have an opinion of thank God, Chris.
Yeah, don't mind him, Diggers. That's sort of just in case we've nominated a few horses and a problem. Yeah, but no, he's not hopeless, and who knows what we're going to get if we can get him right and stretch him out over a little bit of ground. We obviously haven't put blinkers on him yet, so there's a bit up the sleeve, and we don't mind the horse. We thought his 2 runs, he was a bit unlucky first up last prep, and then was on the wrong part of the track second up. So he's showing us a bit, and he's working well. So we just thought we'd throw them noms in just in case.
How'd Rockinori pull up after Kalgoorlie?
Not too bad. Better than the stable after our efforts up there. So we took half up there, and none of them fired a shot. So
don't wear those white shorts.
We're trying to get past that. We've had a few runners since that have ran well, although we haven't had a winner. But that was a disaster up there. So anyway, I'm not sure which race he'll run in on Saturday. We'll just see how the scratchings fall and try and pick the easiest race for him. But obviously, whichever race is going to be, he's going to be up in class. So we'll just see how competitive he is and see whether we go onto the carnival or tip him out and bring him back for like a Pinjarra Bunbury Stakes sort of thing.
How are the plans going for the birthday trip?
Right. The countdown's on. I think Scarley's, what are we down to, about 8 or 9 days off? So he rings me every day and tells me how many days away it is. So.
Well, keep him on a tight leash. Keep him on a really tight leash over there, Chris.
No, I tried that last year. Can't do it, Dig.
No, he runs through the bridle. He need more than a bubble cheeker.
I know. And Norton bit for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, great to chat, mate. Well done with what you've got coming up. I think it's really exciting. Rostislav was terrific. Repossession was a very encouraging trial, so that's good to see. And best of luck today at Ascot as well, mate.
Good on you. Thanks, boys.
There we go. There's Chris Gangemi, probably The strongest push, we can follow the Calabrese onto Saturday.
Yeah, I must admit, when he drew well for Saturday, I thought, that'll be interesting to see what they do, because he was going to run into Elite Bow today. I'm not saying Elite Bow's over the line, but he's awfully hard to beat, and they've elected to go that way to Saturday. So we wait and see, but, he's a horse who, as you said, trialled really, really well behind Twisted Steel. Pretty Divine ran third. We know that Pretty Divine
went to York.
Yeah, went to York and won, led all the way. So the form line's okay, and he's talented, but he can do a bit wrong. So hopefully with, gradual experience and race now, he can iron out those kinks and we can see the best version of him, because I think there's something there.
Yeah, positive reports there too from Repossession. He's one horse in the sprinting ranks that we hope can make the next step. We saw what he was able to do in the winter, and hopefully if his feet issues are all okay, he can absolutely be the best and might be able to play a part at the pointy end of some pretty good sprint races.
Well, he's a very good horse, isn't he? Like his record reflects that, and we know that, his last time we saw him, he was successful in stakes company, so he needs to be respected.
Absolutely. A couple of horses that need to be respected on the weekend too, heading towards their first up assignments, Admiration Express and Bon Joy. Trainer Jason Miller joins us on the Sports Daily now. Jason, a very good morning to you, and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, and not a problem.
Great to have a chat, Jace. Thanks so much for your time. As TC mentioned, Admiration Express and Bon Joy will kick off their campaigns in the Eurythmic. The barrier draws, how much of a blow were they yesterday when they dropped?
I would have probably liked a little bit closer in, but one thing with Ascot, you got to be in the moving line coming to the corner. So we're going to be, hopefully in the 3 deep moving line with them, and it might not turn out that bad for us. Bon Joy, she gets back, so Chris on board, I'm sure he'll navigate the best run he can from that barrier.
What have you made of her 2 trials this preparation?
Really good. First trial, she didn't get a lot of room up the straight, and she was just tucked in behind them, and just went to the line under a hold, and then her second trial was really good. Like, just sat off them. I said to Chris, I just want her in a position where she can do a bit the last 300, and he just peeled her to the outside, and she made good ground. And was strong late, so very happy with the trial. She's tightened up nice since that trial, and I think she's come on in herself.
Jay, she seems to get better each and every preparation. Has she made natural improvement again?
Yeah, that's why I like to give her 2 trials, because sometimes in the past with her barrier manners, she's been a bit... when she's fresh and she's up and about, she can be a bit of a handful, but touch wood, she's been very well behaved both trials, which is hopefully she's starting to settle and got that past her now, but she's definitely come back a little bit more settled in herself, and but she does get better with racing, so I'm sure she's not far off the mark for Saturday, because we've only got a couple of races before the railway, so I've got had to have her ready to go. So I hope it'd be nice to win first or second up to guarantee a start in the railway.
What are you thinking her second up run will be?
Asian Bow.
Yep.
And then we'll play it from there. Hopefully we're getting a run in the railway, and she'll go third up into the railway. If we've got to go to Peters to guarantee a start, well, that's an option as well.
So it sounds like she's still getting better, and you can't say that about too many 6-year-old mares. Why is that the case with her, do you think?
She's only lightly raced, a good mare. Sometimes, you get them into a good rhythm. They're just as good or better than the boys, and she's yeah, I don't know. She's not over-raced, and she's touchwood hasn't had too many problems, and she's sound, so that probably helps, you know.
Talking of 6-year-old mares, you've also got Admiration Express going around on the weekend. How have you viewed her 2 trials in the lead up to this first up assignment?
No, they've been good. I didn't want to do them too much in her trials. I was just trying to keep a bit fresher because 1400's probably the bottom of her range where she gets better over a mile, 1800 to 2000. So, no, really happy with her behind the scenes. Her trials have been good. Lucy just sat on her up the straight and got beat 2.5 lengths, I think it was, in a pretty slick trial. So she did tighten up from that trial, and she definitely looks better for it, and she's up and about at home. So just loading them up now to head down the beach, take them for a bit of a wade. So they're both in good order.
What's the campaign post-Saturday look like for her?
Yeah, well, the main target is obviously the Railway and the Northerly again.
Yep.
So we'll see after first up. She'll probably dodge the Asian Bow and go to the following week. And then into the Railway, Northerly. I think, yeah, definitely the Northerly 1800, I think's her real sweet spot. So I'm looking forward to seeing her over the 18.
Can you get Rocking Society to a Perth Cup this time in, Jace?
That's the plan. Yeah, he's going well. He's one thing with him. He's pretty tough, and he's a very he's one of them horses. He probably not as brilliant as some other stayers, but he can stay, and he's tough. So. Yeah, and if you've got that under your belt, you always got to be a chance when you're in staying races. So, no, he's in really good order. He actually, he's funny. I actually work him and Bonjour together, and on Tuesday he had his head in front of us. So if you're going on work, he's going to be hard to beat.
All right, so you'll be heading to the race this Saturday pretty confident first up over the mile.
Oh, look, he can definitely run a cheeky race, but it's not his grand final, so as long as he runs well, he's obviously going to get better with a run or two under his belt.
All right, is there a winner somewhere else this week? You've got a couple of runners, or 3 runners, in fact, in at Northam.
Sorry, guys, it just cut out there. I missed that. Have
you got a winner at Northam Thursday?
So, yeah, just crossed over to the Bluetooth. I've got Heroltin having his first run. I think he's a very nice horse in the making. I think he'll be hard to beat. And
Amerta Grace.
I was a little bit disappointed in him last start. I thought he'd be hard to beat, and he was a little bit disappointing. I put the shades on him just to try and make him concentrate a little bit more, but I think he'll be. Age of Grace won pretty well the other day in the same race, so she's going to be pretty hard to beat again. But hopefully he improves, and he's hitting the line, and he might be looking for maybe a little bit further.
All right, fingers crossed for Northam on Thursday, and then fingers crossed for the main event on Saturday. Jace, thank you very much for your time, and all the best.
All right, thanks, guys.
There's Jason Miller taking a look at his chances. Admiration Express, Bonjour, Rocking Society in at Ascot Saturday, all with bigger targets ahead.
Yeah, exactly right. So Group 1 targets for the 2 mares, 6-year-olds, and Rocking Society, who showed last time in, was a nice progressive stayer. So he's in the right yard for a horse being aimed up at some staying features.
Yeah, absolutely, and worked really well during the week. Maybe even a touch better than Bonjour as well. So that's a good push first up. We'll head out to a break. It will be close to 8 o'clock on the other side, and the preview of Ascot with Darren, Scott and Diggers not too far away.
Overpass, par for the course. horse. Overpass. It's 4 for 4 at Ascot. Wins another Winterbottom.
Today's midweek preview for Morley Mitsubishi, the home of the Mitsubishi Triton. Drive away the 4x2 Triton for $33,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
Welcome to the midweek preview. Ascot Racing. We'll take a look at the 8 races on the program. Digby Beecham is still here. Good morning, Digby.
Very good morning to you, Taylor. I am still here.
Yeah. All right. Why was it so slow?
Well, I don't know why you welcome me back again.
Well, it's a new segment to the show. Welcome back. Scott, how's the voice?
It's getting there, slowly but surely.
Improving?
Yeah. I think I've turned a corner.
Okay, that's good.
Taking a bit of time.
Darren, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, TC. Nice to see you, and I'm glad that Diggers are still here. He's a very important member of our tipping team on a Wednesday.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he plays back-to-back weeks. He wanted us to pump that up off the top of the show.
You're an idiot.
So we'll pat him on the back. Did you see the video we made last week of himself?
I haven't seen that. No, I've tried to stay away from that kind
Get
of
on
thing.
X.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's riveting.
Never been really into self-promotion, Diggs, but things have changed
turned a corner.
lately. Yeah, lately.
Well, a lot
I'm
of
not
things
quite
have changed
why.
lately.
Are you promoting yourself?
What do you reckon? Don't start. Or I'll come over there and I'll... No, I don't.
I think we're in a fight between you and Darren.
I don't do trumpets.
Who would win?
Yeah.
I think Darren would, but he'd... I'll tell you one thing. I'd fight dirty.
You've got a reach advantage.
Yeah, well, everyone
He
has.
might have speed.
Well, that is an understatement.
Right.
Speed, Diggers. Okay. I'll be aware of that when we glove up. We'll do it for charity.
Oh, speaking of men that look good with boxing gloves on, Mitch Pateman, how do you do?
Yeah, not a boxer, I can tell you that much.
You're a lover, not a fighter. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, correct.
How
correct.
are you?
Just ask Holly. Yeah.
No, we do. That's why we've got you on here now. How you going?
Very well, very well.
Good.
Great
Great to have a chat. Thank you for your time. Just before we have a look at your runners today, Mojo, how's he going ahead of the Arrhythmic on Saturday, Mitch?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, rat with him all prep, probably going as good as I've ever had him going. So, first time we've trialled him more than once. So, he's obviously been a long time since he raced, but he did have a full campaign in the winter without racing. So, he's good and, looking forward to it.
And a good opportunity, too, for a good mate of yours in Taj Dyson.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. So, he's obviously worked with us for 2 or 3 years now, so give him an opportunity like that's great.
Okay, so with him and his fitness and the like, as you said, he had that little campaign in the winter without running. Mitch, what percentage is he at on Saturday in all due respect?
He always improves with a couple of runs under his belt, but he's probably as fit as I've ever had him first up.
Yep.
So he'll need to be. He's in good company, and he's 1400 first up. We've normally always gone to a 12 with him, so that's why he had 3 trials. But I think he's going career best. So and at his best, he's a really good horse. So I think he'll make his presence felt at some point throughout the campaign.
All right, and Lord Shiva's got a gate.
Yeah, Lord Shiva, he's going super. He's been in work a while. We had a few feet issues with him early in the prep, but we seem to be on top of them now. He's got a bar on, which he trialled in, and I was wrapped with his trial. He just ran out a bit of puff, and he'll be highballing on Saturday.
When do we see he's a Phoenix again?
The Freefer. So he's been down at Lucy and Brandon's. He comes back today. I'm pretty excited to get him back. So Bradley must have been on holidays when he won that last start at Belmont in the winter, because he opened him 26s in the Guineas. So, that was a little Christmas gift yesterday.
Now, you're always quite bullish about your horses, Mitch, and I say that in all seriousness. Has this bloke exceeded your expectations, or have you always been of the view that he is at this level and perhaps better?
He's probably... to look at, he's always looked like a real good horse. He's just taken a little bit longer than some of the others 3-year-olds we've got going at the moment. But I remember when I was a kid, Dad used to tell me that, your best horses will always be the ones that just keep improving, and that's what he's done every trial into race. From his maiden win to his Saturday win was improvement I've never seen before. So, if he improves that much again, he's going to be pretty scary.
All right. Now, today, the runners that you've got, can we just focus on them, please? The first of the two is Sapedo Express, who was quite plucky down there at Bunbury first up.
Yeah, I was right with him. It was sort of a bit of a return to his form as a 2-year-old. He sort of went missing for a while there, but that looked like a step in the right direction. He'll put himself on speed, make his own luck. Back at Ascot, that'll suit him. He's got a lot of weight for a small horse, but Pat sort of knows him and knows what he's got to do with him. So we left him on, and he'll run a good race.
You give him a couple of trials, Mitchie, building a foundation there. So how much improvement does he take out of that first up run, as Diggs described, a plucky performance?
Yeah, no, I think he'll improve a little bit. He's pretty fit. His first trial was ordinary, so we put the blinkers on him his second trial, and he was a lot better. So, he obviously racing the blinkers the other day. He seems to be a bit sharper in them. So, I think he'll run well.
Extreme Love, hard work?
Extreme Love, we call her, this will test you from Timu. She's just as naughty, looks the same, not quite the ability level, but she behaved pretty well at Lark Hill the other day. I thought her first run for us was huge. She was no better than 4 deep the trip, and she kept finding the line. If she behaves herself and does everything right, then I think she's a huge chance. If she reproduces her first run, then she'd have to be pretty hard to beat at 20-1.
Okay, so what's the key to her behind the gates and making sure that she's as settled as can be, Mitch?
Just hope and pray, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't really know. She's Braden knows her incredibly well. He's rode her most of her life. I don't think it was entirely, obviously she's got a few issues, but it wasn't entirely her fault. At Bunbury, they were running really late, and they had no barrier attendance, and she's not the sort of horse that you're going to get in the barriers without any barrier attendance. So, at Lark Hill the other day, Braden said as soon as a couple of people got behind her, she went straight in. So, hopefully she does the same today and she can run a good race.
One more from me, Mitchie. Storm Away, super run on the weekend, but probably a little bit awkward for you now, because if you try to go to the Belgravia, you probably risk not getting a start.
Yeah, it probably doesn't really matter too much. He's 2 options from here. He'll either go to the Belgravia or there's a maiden the Wednesday after. I think I want to get him to 1,200 because I'm not entirely sure what path I want to take with him, whether he stays for a Placid Arc or whether he goes to a Guinea. So, he'll get nominated for the Belgravia. I think we found out on Saturday he's up to him ability-wise. We just got to try and find what distance suits him, and him and our girl can run probably in the same boat. We'll find out soon whether they stay for a Placid Arc or head out to a Guineas.
All right. Is there any love on the horizon tomorrow at Northam?
King Cartel's just, he's only going fair. Hopefully he can improve. Trailer Truck, I think, has got good ability. Whether he needs to run on debut, maybe. But, they're probably, small each way chances.
All right. Well, best of luck today, tomorrow at Northam as well, and particularly on the weekend. Mitch, thanks for your time this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
There we go. There's Mitch Pateman on the preview for Ascot, covering a fair bit of ground there. I'm very happy about the $26 he's a Phoenix here. WA Guineas, Mark.
Wasn't that a lovely turn of phrase or description there about this will test you? Extreme Love being the Timu version. Would have thought wouldn't do that. Cheap version.
I enjoy it. It's like
It's very good, isn't it?
TC's a sugar-free version of Timmy Walker.
No, I think it'll be the other way around.
Who I did see, by the way,
I'm not sugar-free.
Saturday night in all of his glory for Kurt and Wesley's big football awards at Crown. Timmy,
right.
Up there as the coach of the thirds, is he? Or the fifths?
I'm
not quite sure. Down the rung a little bit anyway, but looking well. And
they crashed out of finals in embarrassing fashion, so he's done well to show his face.
He never mentioned that.
No. All right, race one.
He looks well though, Tom. Good to see.
Well, there's good reason for it, probably.
Yep.
1,200 metres, race 1, scratching is 5. Friars Legacy at $2.90 is the favourite. Think Pink Days, $3. Dance on Sun at $6.50. Eternally Yours at $8.50. True Fiction at $9. $11 for Spirited Strike. Taking a look at the fluctuations, $9 into $6.50 Dance on Sun, $5.50 out to $8.50 Eternally Yours, $7 out to $9 True Fiction. Race number 1 getting underway at 1:19. Digby, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's a good little race to start with, and I think this is a program where some of the races might have some horses that are going to be really popular and are quite obvious. I've settled on Friars Legacy, but I'm confident Think Pink Days is going to be the best horse in this race long term. I'm just not sure whether today's the day for her at 1,200, but I think she's a very good filly.
She impressed with the rawness of her victory first up more than anything, I would suggest. The fact that she dropped out early, she was able to pick up through the field gradually. She looked awfully raw. She was running around. She's far, far from being the complete product. And yet she looked so impressive when she did go to the line. So I think that she might have a bit better than average talent, Think Pink Days. And it will be interesting to see how she goes at her first run back and how much improvement she has made just from her professionalism and what she does less wrong, Scotty.
Only been one winner out of that race, which was Ripper Rupert, who won a maiden at Kalgoorlie. So she probably didn't run past what she needs to run past here today.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying long term, I think she's a filly who's going to, at 14 and 16, come into her own.
Yeah.
I think they're both pretty nice horses. I think Friars Legacy, he won that maiden, he went straight to a Saturday. They got it wrong, as in punters, but they plunged him to win on a Saturday out of a maiden, which is normally a good show of expectation. I think in the end today, one goes forward, does things right. One goes probably midfield back and probably still needs a little bit more experience. So I lent in the corner of Friars Legacy as well.
Spirited Strike, you haven't touched upon it. 16 into 10. Bang. Immediately the markets were there, back around $11 there this morning. What did you make of its maiden win at Northam, given the fact that it got right back, got held up, had to steady, and then let down very quickly? I thought it showed a nice turn of acceleration.
Well, I think they learnt how to ride him.
Back and cold. Okay. I thought that he was not without some claims on what he delivered at Northam at his second run. I think Lou has always had a reasonable opinion of the horse. So it's a good race, Diggs. I certainly concur with you. I think you could cover off on at least 2 or 3 legitimate winning chances. And there are others that I think will be very competitive.
1932 for me. Friars Legacy on top by virtue of where you'd like to think he's going to land in the run. He's going to be prominent. He's got good form lines. He's got a gate. He's out of a yard that's ticking along beautifully. Chris is back aboard this horse. He has ridden him previously in trials, so looking forward to seeing the return of Friars Legacy. 9, Think Pink Days in for second. She's a watch today. Whatever she does, I think you can follow her. It wouldn't be a shock if she finishes this campaign with some black type alongside her name. 3, True Fiction. Good run the other day at 1,400 metres, covered ground, and was beaten by He's a Phoenix. We just had a chat to Mitch there. 14 back to 12, I think, is a bonus. And 2, Spirited Strike from a low draw. 1932.
1946. I'll include a couple of the maidens. Dance on Sun, Clairvoyance's half-brother. I think he'll get better with racing. And Eternally Yours, same thing, very raw and green, but I think there's quite a bit to work with. 1946.
Yeah, he responded well, I thought, when challenged in that trial as well, Scotty. I'm going to go the other way, Diggs. I'm with 9, Think Pink Days. The fact that it had beaten Just Walter John, who had run second at Ascot at its 2 previous starts before bumping into this filly at Northam. That was back in the summer. He showed, that he was a talented enough horse to win some races. And then the trial without the winkers the other day, it tracked wide. I thought that she held her own without being asked for much of an effort, really. And they'll certainly turn her on a bit today with the winkers quickly back on there for her return to racing. So 9 for me. I do think that there is value in Spirited Strike, though, and Friars Legacy, clearly. Then I'll include, like you, Scott, Dance on Sun as well, second up, and hitting the 1,200 metres. I thought the run first up was good because it didn't give it away. It stuck really tough. 9-2-1-4. Good
9,
race.
2, 1 and 4 for Macca. Scott with 1, 9, 4 and 6, and Digby with 1, 9, 3 and 2. Race number 1, race 2 at Ascot. All starting at this stage, 1,200 metres the journey. $1.70, being solid in betting the favourite Long Service Leaf after an impressive debut. Zali's Gift at $5.50, Jimmy Angel at $8.50, Aussie Reactor at $9, Publicise at $9.50, $15 Testy Pharaoh. Not too much movement in this market. A couple of drifters, a couple of shorteners, but the favourite's been solid. What do we make of the first up win, Scott?
Opened $12, jumped $3. So the market was all over Long Service Leaf out of a very impressive trial at Belmont Park. Got the job done well. Sections were outstanding. I think the runner-up filly from Grant Nalana's yard in Conchita's Dream is above average. Happy to follow through, and I'd quite clearly make the case that this is an easier race than what he was in first up.
Yeah, I would agree with you too, and I think 1,200 is much more to the horses, like particularly the way that it got through its gears the last furlong of the event there. It really did start to lengthen. You're taking a pretty skinny price about Long Service Leaf, but it does look a lock, I thought, in race 2.
Zali's Gift showed a bit in the initial campaign, had trialled up for Adam Durant, then was purchased by Brandon and Lucy in the Durant Racing dispersal sale, and looks like they're going to have fun with her. That debut performance ran third to Baby Pearl and Pure Excess. Looking forward to seeing Pure Excess tomorrow at the races.
Yeah, concur. It was a fast gallop there, that trial behind Artie's Eclipse, who led the running. Didn't fire first up there, but I know that they have a far higher opinion of the horse than that. Good enough trial there by Zali's too. And I thought it's an interesting one. Well, you were socialising up there for the round, but Testy Pharaoh got a rails run. Wolfie's 3-year-old who was making its debut there. He's a bit of a strapping style of a horse.
It was the day that if you weren't on the fence, you couldn't win. So it may have been somewhat exaggerated.
Could have been.
In an 8-horse Kalgoorlie maiden field. I want to see it again.
Wolfie was booming it after the race, Scotty.
Okay.
He was giving it a real good crow. And sort of post-race, which is always easier to say when they win, but we were very confident. We think he's got above-average ability. So, those words sort of stick with you. And the trainer's assessment of Testy Pharaoh, he might come on. I'm not quite sure, where he's going to get to, but he got the job done first up. So I'll play him for a bit of value second ahead of Zali's Gift, clearly, and Jimmy Angel on a month between runs. But, he's only lightly raced and been in the money a few times, so should lob into a nice spot too from the draw. 1, 4, 10 and 3. Dig?
1, 8, 4 and 10 for me. Long Service Leaf picks himself. Dominant first up winner. Really impressive. Publicise.
What do you do there? Didn't fire a shot.
No.
They backed it.
No, and I think Darren was nonplussed.
Yeah.
Flabbergasted.
Yeah, he was bemused. Flummoxed.
Yeah, right.
He was everything. He was bewildered by the performance of Publicise, a filly that he's got an opinion of. And
was he shocked?
Yeah, he was astounded. So we'll see how she goes today, but hopefully with the benefit. She just did everything wrong. She just looked like she hadn't been to the trials. It was bizarre.
I was with her. I was very bullish about Publicise, and when the money was there, you think, oh, well, they're really keen about her chances here, but oh God, she didn't do a thing at all. She was awfully plain.
So we'll give her another go, but I'm certainly with Long Service here. Long Service Leaf here, 1, 8, 4, 10, Scott.
1, 8, 10 and 3 for me.
1, 8, 10 and 3 for Scott. And for Macca, 1, 4, 10 and 3. And for the Thesaurus, 1, 8, 4 and 10. Half yours was drawn barrier number 2.
Half yours barrier 2.
Cup.
Deacon drew 7, I saw as well. So that's good for Terry Henderson, who we chatted to this morning.
Vauban's in 13. Part owned by Rodney Russell here these days.
Okay, yes. Going well. A little bit unlucky last time.
Oh, yeah.
Fair to say.
Absolutely.
That's the Caulfield Cup. We'll go through all that draw hopefully at the end of this
Caulfield
preview. If we get the chance, we'll quickly duck through race number 3 before the traffic. 1,500 metres a journey. Effortlessly at $2.70. Bonamici at $5. Bethalisi at $6. Mello $7. Toscano at $9.50 and Sea of Galilee at $13. Mako, how do we play race number 3?
Well, I'm going to play it. It's a race that I'm not fussed about, to be truthful, but I'm going to play Effortlessly here with Clint Johnston Porter getting on board today from young Amy Jo Hayes. Thought maybe he could make a bit of a difference there. It's having its third run. It bumped into its stablemate last start. It hunted the speed. I thought it was okay in the run. Toscano, well, you've got the He's a Phoenix form there. It's racing well enough, but it's got an awful gate to overcome there. Where does he get to? Stevie Pateman. But the race is a thin one in my view. Savvy Ruler hadn't trialled before, not getting the rub of the green to linchpin first up, but probably showed a little bit last campaign from time to time. There is one here, Bootalazy. 1,500 first up. It might be okay too for this 3-year-old. It got right out the back in its trial, but I like the way that it finished off, and I reckon that 1,500 we could be seeing it hitting the line very, very strongly. So keep a big watch on Dan Morton's 3-year-old Bootalazy for the Delroys. 15, 1, 8 and 10, Scotty.
Bootalazy is the way that I'm going to go. Each way here, first up 1,500. He trialled like a horse that needs ground. He probably races a 2-year-old like he was not going to be 1, forward enough or 2, sharp enough. I think this preparation, we might see the best of him. So each way for me, from 15 Effortlessly, the biggest selling point for me is 3 kilo claimer to a senior rider today for Effortlessly. 1 Toscano, 16 Masmello. Both ran very well last start, but both likely to endure pretty tough passages. 10, 15, 1, 16.
I thought it was a interesting little race. Effortlessly is going to be pretty popular, you would think, as Scotty quite rightly mentioned, with CJP going aboard. And the run recently was good behind a horse who we will see in a 3-year-old 1,400-metre event on the weekend. But I thought the effort of Toscano chasing home behind Social Affair in what was a fast-run race, we'll talk about Social Affair a little bit later this morning, was very, very sound. He's going well. He's finding it hard to break through, admittedly, and he'll need a great steer from Stephen. But if there's that 3 deep lines building, I'm thinking this horse over 1,500 metres can play a part at an each-way quote. So 1 on top from 15 Effortlessly has to be hard to beat. 10 Bootalazy and 16 Masmello, who didn't get the best of luck behind Linchpin. And we saw Linchpin run well and supported on the weekend in better grade. 1, 15, 10 and 16.
And they have back Masmello here, TC as well. 14 into 650 it was, early doors. So they're backing up despite the wide gate.
All right, Mackie, you're with 15, 1, 8 and 10. Scott with 10, 15, 1 and 6. And Diggers with 1, 15, 10 and 6. You've got number 1 in the first 3 races, Diggers. Did you realise that?
No.
Well, there you go. You know now.
Thank you.
You're listening to the midweek preview for Morley Mitsubishi. Drive away the Triton GLX 4x4 dual cab for $45,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
All right, welcome back to the Ascot preview. We're a couple of races through. We've got 5 left to go. We've got Darren Scott, and funnily enough, Diggers is still here as well. Race number 4 over the 1,000 metres. Scratching number 2, the Calabrese heads to Saturday. 280 into 210 Elite Bow. 480 about Spicy Thang. $6 Promising Zentaro at $7. Order online next best, along with See You at the Session at 14. Scott, best bet of the day, Elite Bow.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this horse, TC. He's only been beaten once at trials or on race day, and that was in the Perth Stakes when he flopped as favourite, but he pulled up with shin soreness. So he had a genuine excuse. Other than that, every time he's been to the trials, every time he's been to the races, he's been so impressive. In his 2-year-old trial before he went to the races, he beat Talk & Co. by a length. Then he won here at Ascot on debut at the short course impressively. His recent trials, both at Lark Hill over the 950 and Willie Pike's just been winding him up over the top of them. I think today, you know what you're going to get in this 1,000-metre scamper. Spicy Thang only knows one way. She's jump and run, and she'll really stretch them out. And I think that tracking up along the fence line is the place to be. I'd rather him tracking up along the fence chasing her than trying to sustain a run out 3 and 4 deep. So I think Elite Bow here today proves a bit too sharp for a few of his older rivals.
Yeah, I would agree completely. He's my best bet for the day too. I'm in the fan club as well with Elite Bow. You're talking about tracking horses out wide. We saw that trial there. He was back and wide and he just followed them to the corner, and then when he was able to let down, he quickened up so impressively there. I love the way that he goes about it there. He's got professionalism. He's only had the one run and he had those excuses as you've touched upon there. And he is going to be following a pretty speedy one in the race. So definitely with Elite Bow here, TC.
Yep, beautiful. Diggers?
Yeah, concur. I think he's awfully hard to beat, and I can certainly understand why Scott and Darren like him as much as they do. He's on top for me from 5, promising. Good to see this mare back at the races. She'll sit back, you would think, and come with a run. I think she's going to be awfully competitive in a race of this nature. 9, Spicy Thang, your likely leader, and 7, Zentaro. 1,200 back to 1,000 out of a Saturday race behind Swingman. 8, 5, 9, 7.
Disagree slightly. I think they'll go forward with Promising, won't they?
Would they? Where do they finish up, though?
Park outside the leader, or let Spicy Thang go and just sit second in running?
Geez, Kerndel's quick, though. Couldn't it park there?
I thought maybe with See You at the Session that they might, with the claim of Natika, they might actually send See You at the Session as well, and therefore Promising could get posted. So, anyway, we'll see. But it's small field, so even if she was back, I don't think she'd be too far off them. But I think Elite Bow's the one.
Agree. There. 8, Elite Bow. 5, Promising. 9, Spicy Thang. And 7, Zentaro. 8, 5, 9 and 7. But keen on the chances of Elite Bow.
Same 4 numbers. Order marginally different. 8, clearly BB, Elite Bow to beat 7, Zentaro. Has had the month between runs there. Probably had a little excuse coming off the back of successive victories in a maiden Class 1. You know, it's nicely drawn in Barrier 3, so it should enjoy a pretty cosy trip throughout there with that freshen. 9, Spicy Thang, 51.5, speedy, real fast filly here that'll be there for a fair way with the rail out there. Where is it today? 12, and it'll hang on. And 5, Promising. I was a bit like you, Diggs. I thought that maybe Promising would go back and then launch late, but I could be wrong there. So 8, 7, 9 and 5.
That's for Macca with the BB. Scott also BB number 8 in race 4 to go along with 5, 9 and 7. Same numbers for Diggers, 8, 5, 9 and 7. Race number 5 at Ascot. Startling Star, the favourite at $2.60, backed in from $3.20. Dandy's Gem at $4.40, West Coast Express at $7, Opal Tango at $9, Classic Turn at $12, $13, Authoritative and Almea double figures, well, $15 and up. The remainder of the field, race number 5, Digby.
Look, Startling Star's going to be a horse that, again, one of these cerise and white animals, which is going to be prominent in betting and also is going to garner a great deal of attention, not only today but perhaps further. I'm not saying that this is one of Bob and Sandra's better ones, but the form lines, I think, Scott, are very, very capable for a race of this nature. The only thing with Startling Star is where she settles in the run as opposed to perhaps her main rival, that being Dandy's Gem, who's coming back from a 2,000 to 1,800 metres. They've met recently. From a low draw, Chloe rides out in front well, and I just thought maybe Dandy's Gem would give Startling Star something to catch and is double the price.
Well, they look the two, really.
Yeah.
It's a very thin Class 1 race, Scotty, isn't it?
And I think most of the time I'd rather be forward than back over the 1,800 as well. The awkward part for Zeph with Startling Star is she won't jump that cleanly. They have very little intention, cerise and white, and going forward.
Yeah.
And so with the 1,800-metre starter, he could find himself quite a long way back quite quickly because they jump onto that corner. So Dandy's Gem could be 6 or 7 lengths in front of the main rival at the 600 or 700. So from there, it's definitely game on.
It is game on, and one who I like horses who have had that 2,000, Darren, and might be coming back to 18 or 18 back to 16, 16, 14, and you can go down the path that way. So this horse has been up a while, Dandy's Gem, but he's rock hard fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're the two. They do stand out there. I don't really think that there's much depth in the race, truly. Look, I sided with Startling Star, but by no means any great push, probably clutching maybe at a little bit of the old mate Henry form and some of the form of the horses that have gone on from some of those races that Startling Star's been in. But when you look through the race, Authoritative 121, Point of Luck's 116, Dandy's Gem's 116, 119 Almea, and so on it goes. So, you know, you're not talking about horses with great, you know, consistent form about them. So Startling Star, because it's only had the 4 runs, if it gets an even break, I thought maybe it could beat Dandy's Gem and flip the tables on it from their last encounter. But I do like that residual fitness back to 1,800 at Ascot. Dandy's Gem, Diggs. Authoritative's next best for me, and I'll put Classic Turn in. But, yeah, back to 1,800. maybe there's a reason to put it into your exotics.
Only addition for me is Opal Tango put a line through last start when beaten 31. The prior form was actually quite okay when she was knocking on the door.
Pulled up lame last start.
2-5-1-7.
5, 2, 1 and 11 West Coast Express for Aaron and Holly to perhaps run a race. 5, 2, 1 and 11 TC.
5, 2, 1 and 11 for Diggers. For Scott, 2, 5, 1 and 7. And then for Macca, 2, 5, 1 and 8. Race 5, race number 6, moving on, 1,500 metres. No scratchings at this stage. 4.40 Alma Mater is the favourite. 8.50, touched as much as $9.50 Social Affair, now into $4.80. Shawler, $5, $7.50 across generations, $8 Zippy Zany, $8.50 Must Be Nice, $15 and up the remainder of the field. Digby, make your case for Social Affair, please.
Yeah, well, I was just talking about it a bit earlier, TC, and we referenced that Toscano came out of the race behind Social Affair down there at Bunbury when they ran good time. Figures were excellent. And I think this mare, who was probably not suited by the 1,200 fresh, Darren Scott, made amends next start. She'd been racing well without breaking through, and she got a deserved victory in the step to 1,500 third up today from a good gate. I thought around that each way quote price, TC, you mentioned?
$4.80.
$4.80.
Into so $9.50 though, so it was a bullish go.
You were listening, Darren. Well done.
Yep, I was.
I think she's a live hope in this race.
So do I.
I'd be surprised, TC, that I do listen to you from time to time.
I'm very surprised.
I've got her on top as well, Social Affair. I think it's quite a winnable race for her. There are a few winning chances. In fact, I think it's quite an open race.
One of the features, Scotty, is there's a lot of back markers in the race. A lot of horses will be back there and sort of hoping that they can get a bit of a train going to get them to the home corner. Pace-wise, where does it...
I thought there was decent enough speed here to be fair.
Zippy Zany?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would think so. I think across generations will settle handy from that better gate.
Handy today, yeah. And even Social Affair probably settles 1-1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think they'll run along at a decent enough clip.
Okay. I went with the horse getting to the 1,500 today. It's not a big push, hasn't won for a little while. Darren McAuliffe's Alma Mater. Maybe just hoping that the 9-ball Cavallo Red form is a bit stronger than some of its rivals here. It's not with any great conviction, Alma Mater, but it'll get a pretty soft trip throughout. It'll be one of those that settles back midfield or worse, and hopefully it can get home. From across generations, I didn't mind the run on very heavy ground, the snip of Gossip at Belmont Park, and that was off no trial. Though from time to time it's shown a little bit. Second up, more than likely, it strips fitter there. 8 Social Affair with the money and obviously that bit of form being built around it, and possibly Zippy Zany for 4th. It's a race where I've got a lot of questions more than answers for our listeners today. I thought Alma Mater might have been a bit longer though than the current price where it's into favouritism. So 6, 5, 8, 4.
I wanted to have a 2-horse play in this. I wanted to be on Social Affair and Must Be Nice. I think Must Be Nice has got a real X factor about him. The Troll, really good after missing the kick. The first up run behind He's a Phoenix, outstanding after missing the kick. And then at Geraldton, got the job done, again, after missing the kick. So barrier 10 doesn't worry me at all. He's going to lob last pretty much, no matter what at this stage with the things that he's doing wrong. But, gee, in that last 150... he didn't just pick up, he put them away.
He's a good-looking horse, Scotty, isn't he?
I think he's got a bit of ability. So 8 from 3, 4 Zippy Zany. If she finds the front, Holy Noddle's Claim helps. 5 across generations. Back in grade, parks up closer today. 8, 3, 4, 5.
Same 4 numbers as Darren for me, TC. 8, Social Affair on top from 4, Zippy Zany. 5, across generations, who I know you like. And 6, Alma Mater, 8, 4, 5 and 6.
That's for Diggers. Scott with 8, 3, 4 and 5, and then Darren with 6, 5, 8 and 4. Race number 6 there at Ascot. Race number 7. Short price favourite, no scratchings at this stage. $2 Fine Star opened at $2.50, now into even money. $3.50 about Heatherwood, $7.50 Perfect Sister, Serpedo Express at $13, and then $20 and upwards the remainder of the field. Macca, 1,200 metres, race number 7. Where do we turn?
Well, I think that Simon Miller will no doubt be targeting better races for Fine Star. You know, there's every likelihood that she's going to go around in some of the quality 3-year-old filly races through the spring and the summer period. She's developing. I like the way that she gets to the line there. She can she can really pick up there when they put the acid test to her. She won't be anything special in terms of a price there, but I think that she's an emerging filly here who'll get a lovely run, Scotty.
I agree with everything you said. I tossed and turned between making Elite Bow or Fine Star the best on the program. I think that they're both awfully hard to beat here today. 5 weeks between runs. They probably eased off on her after that last victory with the intention of racing her through the carnival. And if she's going to measure up in races like a Burgess Queen or a Champion Fillies, then realistically she needs to be taking care of this lot. She should get a lovely run. She's got point-to-point acceleration. Ticks the boxes for me. 4 Fine Star. 2 Sapedo Express. $13 does seem like a big price for an on-speed horse who comes back in grade and tries really hard. 5 Kimberley Currency. I think gets the right run for a horse like him. I'm a big question on whether he runs 1,200, but I think that little suck run in behind them is suitable for him today. And 1 Headerwood off 7 days, but wide draw, lots of weight, going to concede a head start and wait to Fine Star. I just don't see how he beats her. 4, 2, 5 and 1.
I don't think he can beat her, but I think he'll be competitive. I think what he has shown us so far, and they've been very, very keen about him on each occasion. So he goes into the exotics box, but clearly I thought that Fine Star was a lock there, the third leg of the quaddie this afternoon. And even money or thereabouts where she was this morning, so we'll mark her down 4. 2 Sapedo Express, like you, Scotty, there with that push there, drives forward. You know what you're going to get. I think that he'll be competitive with Headerwood. And Dominatus, I know the form of the race is a bit questionable, that Toronado Rocket form, but I didn't mind the run of Dominatus from a longer priced point of view in the race. So maybe include it there in your pick 4. 4, 2, 1, 8.
4, 3, 1, 2 for me. Quite keen here. Fine Star. I think she can resume a winner off a little freshen.
4, 3.
Perfect Sister in for second. Class Dropper. 1 Headerwood for third. 2 Sapedo Express for fourth. 4, 3, 1, 2.
Okay. Easy enough to follow along. Race number 8 on the program. All starting at this stage as well. Open fair to finish. Astro World at $3.80 is the favourite. Backed in from $5. $5 to 6 Summers Legacy. $5 to $6.50 Noah Quintilly. $16 into 7 Great Edition. $8 Hoba West has been a drifter. And Toretto's at $10, heading those at double figures. How do we finish the day, Digger B?
Well, I'm with Hoba West. I love the win at Northam the other day. Now, this fellow, he's only lightly raced. That was second up. You'd think there's natural improvement. Does he rise in grade? Yes, he does. In what was a competitive 1,400-metre Class 3 event, I thought maybe 3 deep with cover, blending in, Stephen Parnham and Summer Dixon could finish off the day in style, Scott.
It was a good win last start, no doubt about it. Interesting to note that they were intending on trying to go forward if they could. It didn't work out, and it probably played into their advantage.
Exactly.
Because he marched right over the top of them.
Yeah, he did. I thought this was a race, Darren, with a bit of depth, though.
Oh, I think you're right, Diggs. This is a tricky one to round out the day, but the money's been awfully strong, hasn't it, for Neville Parnham's 4-year-old Great Edition, who, if nothing else, has been really consistent. Won a Class 1 4 starts ago, led them up 1,200, got beaten a couple of lengths, Centre Bond, who's continued to race competitively, then bumped into Cavallo Red, who got his turn and cracked it for a victory after a long run of outs, and then went to Cal for the round, and I thought was pretty sound there also. Look, 4 goes here, duck eggs everywhere at Ascot. I'm not quite sure for the reasons why, but it'll get a pretty lovely run here throughout. A soft trip, and maybe Great Edition can get the job done.
And shout out to Neville and Lucky. They're having some success at the moment, aren't they? Lucky's riding winners everywhere. It's great to see.
Multinational in the Hannons.
Yeah. Geraldton. He's going up to Geraldton, riding a lot of winners there for Merrill at the start of the season, so good on him.
No, absolutely. You put the effort in, the rewards come your way, and that's what Lucky's enjoying at the moment. So, look, I've gone that way. I thought that maybe Noah Quintilly could come on a little.
Agree.
I think that she's in the mix. I think that Summers Legacy, although maybe building and looking for a bit further after this run. But, look, there was enough in the first up effort. And clearly Astro World is the other one. Look, she's a lightly raced mare. She was very, very good, I thought, back at Pinjarra in the autumn. She then flopped. She went to the paddock. they gave up on that preparation, and maybe the trial was sound enough to suggest here that she'll be in the mix because the money suggests that is the case. But look, I found it a really difficult race, a challenge for the last leg of the quaddie today. We'll go each way, great edition, and we'll put 11, 1 and 6 in to fill out the other boxes for your exotics.
Scotty.
I'm a believer in Astro World. I think she's got some abilities. I popped her on top first up from 4 great edition for all the reasons given. 6 Summers Legacy held up first up, and she really is a momentum staying type. She just needs clear galloping room, which she should get today. And 2 Hober West, 11, 4, 6, 2.
2, 11, 1, 6 Hober West each way from 11 Astro World. 1 Noah Quintilli, expecting this mare to come on. She's got good form lines if you go back to the autumn as a 3-year-old, and 6 Summers Legacy. Hopefully gets a nice flow into the race as well. 2, 11, 1 and 6.
That's for Diggers in the last, Scott, with 11, 4, 6 and 2, and Macca with 4, 11, 1 and 6. Best bet, Scott, to add to Elite Bow?
No, race 4, number 8, Elite Bow, singular.
Okay. Yep.
Echoing his sentiments as well. They're in the 4th with Elite Bow.
All right, race 4, number 8 for both Darren and Scott. Player of the day, Scott?
Pretty simple. Elite Bow, race 4, number 8, All Up Fine Star. Race 7, number 4, $4.40 the double.
Nice and simple.
Yeah, nothing special. Get a bit in Scotty's corner in terms of a play, quite frankly. It's a bit old Mother Hubbard for me today. I do think that if you're looking from a risk point of view, I think the weight and the barrier take care of Heatherwood at 350 as well. So maybe there's your lay for the day.
Yep.
But, yeah, generally I thought there are a couple of standouts in a few of the races, but overall it lacks that middle tier depth in some of the other races today.
Taking on a horse, Scott?
I agree with Heatherwood, but I'll add race 6, number 6, Alma Mater. Not a believer.
No.
Okay. All right. Enjoy Ascot.
Good,
Enjoy
mate.
Ascot Saturday. Enjoy Inside Running.
Thank you. Good. Looking forward to it as well.
Northam tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Crawford, Eurythmic. Great races.
Yep, absolutely.
Northam Cup coming up Sunday week.
Yep.
So a big time ahead for the Northam Racing Club.
Yeah, all the best out there. Enjoy your day, gentlemen.
Cheers, mate.
We'll come back with the Diggers' thoughts on the program at Ascot.